Hello and welcome to this week's installment of Game On. I'm your host, Jeff Beideman. Our focus this week turns to the state basketball playoffs, where our boys and girls teams have reached the state quarterfinals. Plus, we'll also have a report from Hersey, where our wrestlers brought home a boatload of medals. All that right here, right now on Game On. Joining us in the Game On studio is Dan Dunkin. Dan, the eastern half of the 4A bracket looks like a District 1 invitational here. We've got two of those teams in North Penn and Abington. Assess their chances moving forward.
Well, Jeff, this really worked out well for North Penn because now they face Westchester Ruston in the quarterfinals, and that's a team they really handled easily in the districts by 15 points. Their big three, Aaron Mayer, Vicky Tomas, and Sam Karanji, have really played well. They combined for 52 points in the last game. And the way North Penn just continually improves all the way through this path, I just love the way they're playing. I see they take care of Ruston. They would then play the winner of Dover-Cumberland Valley in the semifinals, and I like them against either of those District 3 teams. Cumberland Valley, I saw against CB West, they grinded it out. But North Penn's just playing too well. I see them on a path to the state final. Abington, you got to give them a ton of credit. 18 seed in the district tournament. Here they are in the state quarterfinals. You know, the big difference in the last game was Gabby Nolan and some of their other role players that don't really score a lot. She came through with 18 points. And you would think if the role players and Michael Harris, Deja Rawls do their thing, they would have a pretty good shot at Springford. Abington's a very talented athletic team, but Springford, they rely so much on depth, pressing, and all that. I think it's really asking a lot for Abington to pull that upset. So you're looking at a very likely scenario of North Penn and Springford in a district rematch in the state final.
Wow, interesting. All right, we'll slide over to the AAA bracket. We have an incredible quarterfinal matchup here. The number 1 and number 2 ranked teams in the statewide poll falling in the quarterfinals.
Well, Archbishop Wood number 1, Scranton Prep number 2. Potentially classic matchup. This Wood team, to me, the story has really been their offense this year. Defense really the backbone of the program, but this year playing a much more up-tempo style, averaging 59 points a game, about 12 more than they averaged 2 years ago with their last state title team. They've got 211 three-pointers, averaging about 8 a game. So they're going against a Scranton team that's 27-1. They've won 21 in a row, 17 times this year. They've held opponents to 30 points or less. So it's a classic confrontation offense-defense. They have a 6'2 center, and they've got a guard who's being recruited by Holy Cross. So there's a lot of mystery sometimes the further you go in these state matchups. I think if Wood does what they do best and they roll 8 or 9 players, a lot of these teams, including this one, Scranton, you hear a lot about their first 5, not a lot about their bench. I think Wood wins this. I see Wood going on to the state final.
Will be interesting. Will be interesting to see whether that depth really plays out in this game. All right, thanks, Dan. As we discussed, the Abington girls pulled off another upset Tuesday night in the second round of the state playoffs. Our own Jen Wielgus was in Coatesville, where she's been following the Ghosts' Cinderella postseason run.
Thanks, Jeff. Well, the motto for the Abington girls basketball team all season long has been built to last. And how's this for staying power? Despite finishing second in the Suburban 1 League National Conference and 6th in District 1, the Ghosts are among the final 8 teams left in the state tournament.
We all season have been working hard. Nothing came easy for us at all, but we all earned what we got. So I just think that hard work was really like the main thing in our season. We knew we could be a really good team, but we knew we could get far, but we didn't know how far. But I think that we proved ourselves wrong, kind of.
The Ghosts continue to make the most of their underdog role.
I mean, being the underdog is the easiest thing in the world. No one expects you to win. So it's really no pressure when you go out there and play. So being the underdog kind of helped us.
We're comfortable with it. We've been on the road since the beginning, so we're used to it. It's nothing. You got to beat good basketball teams, whether you're the underdog or you want to keep playing. You got to beat good basketball teams. So these kids, the thing that they're not intimidated. You could throw the Sixers out there and they're like, all right, we got a chance. And that's what's so great about them is that they don't care who they're playing against. They're just going to go out and play their best and see what happens.
The Abington girls can beat good teams because they've learned to work better together.
The quickest way that we improved was realizing that all of our players need to score, sharing the ball. When everyone scores, we win.
We've become like so much more of a team. Like everybody plays together. Like nobody is a ball hog. Everybody's together. In the beginning, it was kind of rough because we were still like getting used to playing with each other from getting off AAU and stuff. But I think since the beginning of the season, we just become like such a good team.
Now that they've come this far, the Ghosts figure they should just keep on going.
Oh, they absolutely believe they can win a state championship. Absolutely. They've talked about it. You know, they don't look ahead, but yeah, they believe it.
Taking the big seat here in the Game On studio is Drew Markol. Drew will get right into state wrestling at Hersey. Penridge's Scott Parker improved his medal standing every year out there, went from a 4th place to a 3rd place to this year he grabbed the silver medal, but probably would be considered a tough final for him this year.
Yeah, Jeff, it was. You know, he kind of let up in his final in overtime, and his opponent, Luke Pletcher from Great Old Latrobe, took advantage of it, took him down on the edge. It was the right call. It was just, you know, a really bad way to lose. You know, but Parker is a 3-time state medalist. You know, he's going to go down as one of the best that District 1 has ever had. And he's just proof that how difficult it is to win a state title. I mean, that kid looked like a state champ from, you know, day one as a freshman, and, you know, it just didn't happen. But to get 3 state medals is really hard to do. So just a great career.
Yeah, very impressive. Okay, along with Parker, we had 7 other medalists. Not a bad haul for this area.
No, not bad. You know, I expected maybe some little higher places, but, you know, overall you'll take it. You know, 6 of the 8 are seniors, so we only have 2 medalists coming back. Cordell Rush, who's a sophomore at Penridge, finished 4th, and Riley Palmer, a freshman from Council Rock South, finished 7th. So very impressive to see, you know, a freshman and a sophomore get medals. Now, on the flip side, Jacob Wasser, a sophomore from Palisades, 4th a year ago, didn't medal this year. I think he'll bounce back next year, too. It'd be helped, though, if the Palisades administration and District 11 figure it out and bring back Omar Parada as the coach like they should, but we'll see if they'll do that. And if they do that, that's going to help their whole program.
All right, with Hersey bringing this year to a close, let's look ahead a little bit to next year. Who are some wrestlers that are on the radar?
Well, again, you got to look at the guys who placed, you know, Rush and Palmer, and, you know, maybe Wasser coming back. Kyle Gentili, a sophomore from Penridge. He won a couple matches up in Hersey before being eliminated. I expect some good things from him. Evan Wilson, Central Bucks East. He's a junior, made his first trip to Hersey this year. You know, he lost his first 2, but, you know, he'll work at it and he'll come back stronger. So, you know, and also, you know, Penridge has some young guys coming up that, you know, they haven't mentioned any names yet, but apparently there's a pretty good couple of 8th graders who actually may be making some noise statewide come next year. So it looks pretty bright.
All right, interesting. Thanks, Drew. Switching gears to ice hockey, the Flyers Cup playoffs have just about reached their climax, and Jen has a report on a program that's trying to reclaim its former glory.
Council Rock South is the 8th and highest numbered seed left in the Flyers Cup Class AA playoffs. But the Golden Hawks, who are not quite 2 years removed from winning both the Flyers Cup and state hockey championships, know what it takes to succeed in the postseason.
It takes a lot of hard work and definitely dedication. Like, everyone on the team is dedicated and wants to win more than anything else. I know if we work hard every shift that we can beat teams that's maybe more skill than us.
Brockman led South to an overtime upset of top-seeded CB East last week in the quarterfinals, setting up a meeting with Souderton in Thursday's semis. After an early exit in the Suburban High School Hockey League playoffs, the Golden Hawks are exceeding others, and even maybe their own, expectations.
We didn't finish off the regular season too strong, and I feel like a lot of people thought that we just lost what we had in the years past, but we've obviously proved throughout this tournament so far that we're still a threat to win.
You know, we knew we had a pretty decent team. I mean, no superstar, but just kind of deep, you know, and we struggled a little bit there coming down the home stretch, but I think, you know, we pulled together, had a couple good practices, and kind of got their attitudes adjusted a little bit, and I think we persevered through that and kind of showed everybody exactly what we can do the other night. I always tell them, I said, you know, guys, I said, it's like, you get this time of year, I said, it's fun. enjoy yourselves and have fun. You know, I said, well, we're here to have a good time. And I had one of my younger guys, JV guy, asked me in the lobby, he's waiting for his equipment to get there. He says, Coach, you think we'll win tonight? I said, I only coach to win.
Can this year's team add more hardware to the trophy case?
Yeah, I definitely believe we can win, but just taking it one game at a time.
Kevin, you continue to draw our disdain as you shove fun and exciting places in our face. First it was Clearwater, now you bring us your boys basketball report live from Las Vegas.
Hi Jeff, and hi everybody from Las Vegas, Nevada. It's New York in the background. We're really going to screw you up geographically, but as we wrap up pretty much most of our team seasons, only Abington still remaining here in the PIAA playoffs. Let's first give a big hand to Bristol, Holy Ghost, and Pennsbury, who advanced to the second round of the tournament. Bristol, I think, is a monumental stepping stone for Tyrone Lewis's program. The fact that they were able to get through and get into the second round. Yes, they're senior laden, but I think it really helps Lewis going forward no matter what he wants to do. Holy Ghost Prep, another superb job by Tony Chapman. Had two very good seniors in Zaire Watkins and Matt England. Were able to get through to the second round and were able to force Philadelphia Electric, one of those teams in District 12 that you don't hear a lot of, to overtime the other night. I think that shows just what class of a program Holy Ghost Prep is. And Pennsbury, you know, we were critical of the Falcons last week, but their win over Wilson was resounding on Saturday. And the fact that their three big players, Derek Woods, Mekhi Bryant, and Cameron Jones, all returning for a senior year. Pennsbury now will likely go to the top of the race, or top of everybody's poll heading in the next year in District 1, and to win District 1 and to head into states and be a legitimate state contender. Now, the one team left is Abington, and Abington is a remarkable story. Everybody thought they were decimated by graduation this year, but the Ghosts have found the way, guys, to really get the job done when it's needed. They found a way, last night to kind of eke out a win, to kind of generate and get enough offense and get enough against York, get enough of a defensive stand when they needed to. They're going to need to be that good, though, against Martin Luther King, who has become really the public league's best hope at 4A since they joined back in 1999. You look at the way that King has rolled through their first two games, really dominated Pennsbury last night, were able to take advantage of some of Pennsbury's foul troubles. I think you look at this, and this is a really tough matchup for Abington. But, Jeff, I really believe that when you look at King and Abington, the key to this game is going to be Abington has to shoot the ball well from the outside. That's the only way I think they could beat King.
Thanks, Kev. Again, switching gears, the PIAA Swimming and Diving Championships are currently going on at Bucknell University, and Jen has a report on arguably the most talented athlete in the competition, William Tennett's Ian Forlini.
As the youngest of three kids in a family of skilled aquatic athletes, Ian Forlini found a way to make his unique mark. He took up diving.
Well, when I was little, I started swimming a lot and I was diving a lot, and it got to the point where I was getting a lot better at diving, but I was still better at swimming at that point. So my parents were like, well, what would happen if we had swimming and diving on the same day? And they made me choose, and I ended up choosing diving from then. When I was little, I liked diving because the flips and like the competition part was a lot different than swimming. Swimming was a lot more laps, and just practice was more boring to me, so I liked diving for that part.
Forlini grew into one of the best divers this area has ever seen, winning 4 District 1 diving championships in 4 seasons at William Tennent. He headed to the PIAA championships this week with 3 state medals already to his credit. Even more impressive, Forlini also qualified for states as a swimmer. He's a member of Tennent's 200 freestyle relay team.
Now that I'm older, I love swimming too because it's a lot different than diving. Competing is it's completely different because I like the race aspect of it, and I like just going all out in like 20 seconds and just going as fast as possible. I like being part of a team, and it was good because it's a little bit different because I can rely on other people than just myself. And then we just have a good time. We're all friends, so it's great.
Forlini will dive for the University of Georgia next year and hopes one day to win SEC and NCAA championships while qualifying for his second Olympic trials in 2016. It's unlikely his name will ever be forgotten at William Tennant.
I'm the last Forlini graduating, and I think like people know me for diving, so when they think of William Tennant swimming, they sometimes think of me as the diver, and then my brother's the swimmer, so I'm just glad that we left a good legacy here at Tennant.
And great news on Forlini, not only did he win the state championship, but he also set the meet record for most total points registered. That'll do it for all of us here at the Game On Studio. As always, we love to hear from you, the fans. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at HS Game On. Make sure to check out our Flyers Cup coverage in the Intelligencer and Courier Times and also online. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.